Hey, it's MK, and I am back with another May I Scraplift You, and today I am lifting the beautiful Scrappy Kathy. I absolutely love all of her bright and beautiful layouts, and I intended this to be one of those bright and beautiful layouts, but it doesn't turn out that way, truth be told. So I've got a bunch of little border strips that I have saved from various companies, and then this wood grain paper that was left over from the mountain trek collection. I think it was 1.2, I believe. I can't remember, but it's wood grains or textures 1.2. Anyways, I also have some brand new to me 49 Market elements that are from their new collection Spectrum or Tidal Wave. I can't remember. Sherbert, Spectrum and Sherbert. And so I've got some rub-on leaves as well as some acetate leaves. And I thought that I would bring some of those in. I'm not really sure, but when I pull out these rub-ons, I expected them to be uber super large like the rest of their elements usually are. Okay, I have this little fence post that is from Kaiser Craft. I have a fishing hook that is from Some Assemblage Required. My favorite is Twine in the Whole Wide World, which is from Stampin' Up. I guess I don't say that. So it's from Stampin' Up. I have this flare from Dottie About Flare. Now these metal pieces, in all honesty, you guys, I picked them up on one of my travels over, I believe in Phoenix and or Arizona. I wasn't exactly in Phoenix, and I cannot remember who they're by. I took them out of the packaging to bring them home, and I never saved the packaging. Then I have this awesome netting, you guys, that was gifted to me by Nancy Robbins. Thank you so very much. I cannot wait to use it. This will be my first time using it, and I have these two photos. Now I have this cut file, or no, it's not a cut file. I apologize. It's a stencil. Yes, it is. And I plan on using my sprays through said stencil. And I have to tell you guys, I've never been successful doing this before, but I figured, you know, Scrappy Kathy is known, or Kathy McElfresh, she is known for making a mess. And I thought, if it's not perfect, it's Kathy. So it's going to be awesome no matter what I do. So I picked a bunch of greens because we're out in the, well, actually, I think this one, we're at the lake and just fishing across the street. I think that's what we're doing. And then I picked out this gorgeous shimmer spray by Dilutions that is just the desert rose, desert storm, desert something. I don't know. Let me look at it. Desert sand. Yeah, that was never going to happen. So I'm starting with my Alt New one first because I thought that it would be the darkest. And I have Color Shine Chartreuse, and I have Altenew Forest Glade, and I also have a little bit of Heidi Swapp Citron just to add a little tiny spray of brightness to this layout. And right away I can already tell I have to trim off those white borders that the stencil left. And so I went into my stash and picked out what I thought was going to be used as a background to hold everything together, and it just ended up not being the right colors. This one, I believe, this background piece that I have picked out, I believe is from the Patina set from the Craft Consortium paper pad, but I end up going to my metals set in order to rectify the I think it was too blue. It wasn't the right green I was looking for. So the metal one had a good green that went in it. So here's where I decided it was too bright and I have to grunge it up, you guys. I am so sorry. I really do try with all intentions to make a bright, beautiful layout. I really, really do. But, you know, it just isn't me. And all that whiteness scares me. It's just so perfect and pretty and not me. So to make it a little bit more messy, I am just taking my Altenew Forest Glade spray and dabbing it up, and then I am taking my I believe this is Heidi Swapp Chartreuse and adding that one to it as well. Now I've pulled in some Distress Oxide spray in peeled paint because I absolutely love how that dries kind of a patina look. It's like a aqua green is how it kind of looks. So Now I have picked out a different, no, I haven't picked out a different background just yet, I don't think. But I want to add a whole bunch. Oh, I did pick out the background, you guys. I apologize. I didn't show it to you. Nope, I didn't. But to make it kind of blend in a little bit more, I did a bunch of stitching, and then every now and then I did some zigzagging here and there just to make it a little bit more grungy. I did use my distress tool around the edges where the scallops are. And then down at the bottom, I just ripped it so that way I had a few pieces. And then I forgot that I was going to add some of that wood grain peeking out and have a really big rip, and totally spaced it, and it didn't happen, which is fine in the end because my photos end up taking a bunch of space, and it would have blended in too much. It would have taken up the photos and how I embellish would have taken up way too much space. All right, just creating my my photo mats. Oh my gosh, I forgot the words there for a sec. For my photos, I did trim them down quite a bit because of the fact that I wanted to make space for embellishing and whatnot. I absolutely love how Kathy's photo looks like it is on a bed of tropical leaves and flowers, and it's just one of my favorites. And so I definitely wanted to recreate that. And I also wanted to give this a lot of texture. So I am adding in this beautiful, beautiful netting, and I'm just going to throw it into the background because when you go fishing, you have a net to help you pull the fish in. Well, sometimes we don't often use it. The boys are so excited that we tend to forget the whole net thing. So I'm going to just go ahead and adhere the net to my photos using my tear and tape. And then what I'm going to do is put some foam dots in between some of the squares. So that way it stabilizes the photo and then helps me glue the netting down because the foam dots will be in between, and so it'll be trapped in between the photos and the foam dots, if that makes any sense. So this is when I realized that those leaves are on the rub-ons are going to be a bit too small. Now what I was going to do is put the leaves in the background on the rub-on and then add the transparency leaves, which are quite obnoxious in my lighting, you guys. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. I'm just now seeing this. But anyways, the vellum or the rub-on leaves were just a bit too small. I couldn't use them in the background like I was expecting them to. Or the ones that I was going to use are actually too blue. The large ones were way too blue. So I went ahead and I sifted through the transparencies and decided, okay, these are the leaves I'm going to use, and I will go ahead and stick those down and get them going. Now these ones do not have a film behind them, in front of them, around them, nothing like that. You don't have to worry about taking any film off of these at all. So take them out of the package and start using them up. No worries. So I'm building my leaf clusters, and this I have to tell you guys, this is my first video coming back from retreat, and I was a little rusty. Like I had to constantly stop and start the video because I didn't know what I was doing. I almost felt like I was discombobulated as to where all of my things were. And when you go to a retreat, you kind of have to reset up how you operate and how your items are all put together. And, you know, like I have my tools over here in one specific spot, same with my trimmer, all that stuff. And then at a retreat, you kind of have to readjust yourself. And so I spent so long at the retreat, and then when I came back home, I've been doing nothing but yard work and catching up on the store and doing all this other stuff. And so I felt like I was rusty at trying to figure out how to create a layout. So yes, there is a lot of starting and stopping and pausing and oh my gosh, where are my stuff? I still have not unpacked. Like to this day, I still have not unpacked from this retreat to get really going to where I was doing. Okay, so I went ahead and I put my foam dots in between all of the, not all, but some of the little squares. So that way my netting is trapped in between all of them. I also did a little bit of rub-ons, but most of it ends up getting covered up. I just thought that I would see what it looks like peeking out here and there, and I do end up having to add a few more rub-ons in, so that way it does look like I purposely put rub-ons outside, because when I put these metal leaves in, which I think are amazing, by the way, when I put them in, I do end up covering up, like that one back there, that I just covered up an entire rub-on. But that's okay. It still has that effect, and if you're looking really close, you can see it through the leaves. It's okay. But I do end up going back through with all of those other tiny little leaves and putting some more rub-ons on. Okay, so I have added my metal charms. Or my metal leaves, and I did have to bend some because some were very, very dimensional. So I just went ahead, because they're very thin metal, and I bent some to where they were a little bit more flat. And then, of course, this hook with my favoriteest twine attached to it reminds me so much of what we see out here, because fishermen are constantly losing their lines in the brushes, in the sagebrush, in the weeds, in the trees, in whatever we're fishing next to. And so my kids, actually, when they're kind of taking a break from fishing, that's their favorite thing to do, is go and find all the different lures and hooks and things in the weeds. And so we come home with quite a collection. I wouldn't say it's a competition, but it's kind of fun at seeing how many can find. It's kind of like, what is that called? The is it beach glass that you guys can go look at and find on the beach? I can't remember, but that's how it is. It's our country. It's our sideways version of that. But yes, this just reminded me of, the fish or the hooks getting caught in the weeds and stuff. And so I thought it was absolutely perfect, because now my hook is caught in the weeds. So anyways, added a few more rub-ons, and then I decided I was going to add a few butterflies. Now the butterflies that I picked out are on the blue side. I did not want them to blend in too much with the leaves. I didn't want them to just look like weird, oddly shaped leaves. So I did go and pick the blue butterflies. I was debating on pulling out some of my dragonflies that I have in the shop, but I opted not to. I was lazy, because then I would have had to pull out color crayons and color them up and make them pretty. And B, I just had all these butterflies hanging out. So I thought, I'll just add the butterflies. And I do like the little touch of blue. I am attaching my string, and I just add a teeny tiny little dot of glue, hold it there for a sec, and I am done. Now I'm going to add some white splatter. It is Altenew. It is Altenew Pure White ink spray. And I'm shaking it up and adding this. Now, when I add this to the Distress ink, it actually changes the color. So it won't be this bright, bold white when it is dried. It'll actually kind of be an off-white, which I really like. But I wanted to add the white because I have that one white flare that just kind of sort of sticks out like a sore thumb, because I have nothing else white except for my son's shirt. So I definitely wanted to add that. Plus, Kathy is a design team member for Dottie About Flair. So if I didn't add a flare to one of her recreations, then I definitely am not doing it the right way. Anyways, this is the layout that I have for you guys today. I'm trying to get the glare off of all the leaves so you guys can see what is going on in this layout. I am glad I didn't rip the bottom of it and put that wood grain behind like I expected to, or what I intended to begin with. I'm kind of glad I forgot about that, but I do like the end results, even though it wasn't as bright and cherry as I was expecting it to be. One of these days, you guys, I will get one of those layouts done. But this is what I came up with so far. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Please be sure to check out everyone else that is playing along with May I Scraplift You, and I will check y'all later. Bye.